All right, guys, we're going to quickly close, and it is only going to be a few minutes. We're going to do verses. I know we read 9, but we're going to read verses 9 through 26, and then we'll close, because verses 1, I didn't see this, but verses 1 through 19 is a prophecy against the King of Tyre. If you missed the first video, please check it out. And then verses 20 through 26 is a prophecy against Sidon. So we're going to close with that. Going back to this prophecy against the King of Tyre. Will you then say, I am a God? We're on verse 9, continuing on, guys. In the presence of those who kill you, you will be but a man, not a God. In the hands of those who slay you, you will die the death of the uncircumcised at the hands of foreigners. And we know how God felt about that, right? So I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. And them just saying uncircumcised, that goes to show, not just saying uncircumcised, but it goes to show which God is behind them, their culture, who they are, how they think, what type of people we dealing with, right? We did some studies on that already. So here's what the Lord's continuing to say in this verse 10, continuing on. I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. And when God says I've spoken, that means it's done, it is so. Because God is not saying anything in vain. Nothing that God says, nothing that he speaks, nothing that he shows us, nothing that he allows us to see or hear, nothing that he promises, nothing that he says, nothing that our eyes see or nothing, none of that is in vain. Nothing. So he said, I've spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, take up a lament concerning the King of Tyre and say to him, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. That's so beautiful, Eden, right? Every precious stone adorned you. Ruby, topaz, and emerald, and these are not cheap stones that we're reading about. These are precious stones, and they are stated as such for a reason, right? Listen to it. Ruby, topaz, and emerald, chrysolite, onyx, and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and beryl. I believe that we read about some of these stones. Where did we read these? We read about some of these stones before in another place. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. Wow. Y'all hear this? You were on the holy mount of God. You walked among the fiery stones. This is to the King of Tyre. So it shows that he didn't start off with all this pride and this wickedness. It grew in him. Look, you were blameless in your ways from the day you were created. Listen, till wickedness was found in you. From verse 16, continuing on. Through your widespread trade, you were filled with violence and you sinned. So because of all these things that we just read in part 1, all these people, all these places, all these great things, this pride then filled him up. That's why pride and deliberate sin is so dangerous. Because it has a price and you have to pay for it. And you may not have to always pay with it with money. It may cost you something else. Right? So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, and I expelled you, O guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. Excuse me. So I threw you to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade. And we know how God feels about dishonesty. Right? We read about it in Proverbs. You have desecrated your sanctuaries. So I made a fire come out from you and it consumed you. And I reduced you to ashes on the ground in the sight of all who were watching. All the nations who knew you are appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more. That's the prophecy against the King of Tyre. Let's close with a prophecy against Sidon. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against Sidon. Prophesy against her. We don't hear Ezekiel stopping anytime saying, Lord, please, I need a break. Lord, please, my wife just died. I'm going through all these things, God. He is being obedient to the call. And I'm telling you guys, you just continue on doing what God called you to do. You continue trusting Him, believing Him, living your life as servants of God and being Christians. The reward is going to be worth it. Not just in this life, but especially in the life to come. Because eternity is forever. Eternity is forever. People that's going to be in hell is going to be there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It will never end. It will never end. People that's going to be in heaven is going to be there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. It's never going to end. Just like I've told you guys about that Rick Warren Purpose Driven Life. If you've never read that book, I encourage you to read it. The Purpose Driven Life is a purple book. That book helped me my first few months after I got saved. The Purpose Driven Life. And I told you guys, I believe I want to read it again, but I have to find the book. I have to get the book. And I'm telling you, one of the things that he said, I remember he said, Holy Spirit just reminded me of this. He was saying that this life on earth, that whatever we do on this earth, however our lives and decent actions is on this earth, is a dress rehearsal before eternity. And people don't realize that eternity is forever. There's no going back. There's no give me another chance. God is being gracious and merciful to many of us right now in the now. This is serious. Eternity is forever. Our actions are going to have lasting consequences or lasting rewards. And so many people do not realize that. Because he told him, 19 in Ezekiel 28, all the nations who knew you are appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more. So let's get back into Sidon, then I'm going to close on 6 minutes. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against Sidon, prophesy against her, and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I'm against you, O Sidon, and I will gain glory within you. They will know that I'm the Lord when I inflict punishment on her and show myself holy within her. I will send a plague upon her and make blood flow in her streets. The slain will fall within her with the sword against her on every side. Then they will know that I'm the Lord. Let's do 24 through 26, guys. No longer will the people of Israel have malicious neighbors who are painful briars and sharp thorns. Somebody say no longer. Then they will know that I'm the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. When I gather the people of Israel from the nations where they have been scattered, I will show myself holy among them in the sight of the nations. Then they will live in their own land, which I gave to my servant Jacob. They will live there in safety and will build houses and plant vineyards. They will live in safety when I inflict punishment on all their neighbors who maligned them. Then they will know that I'm the Lord their God. So guys, it's going to conclude our Thursday Bible study. Again, we read Ezekiel 27 and 28. Day 15, the next Bible study, we're going to be talking about a prophecy against Egypt and the lament for Egypt. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about in the next Bible study, Lord's will. We have about 10 more days of our November Ezekiel Bible study, guys. So if you haven't checked out the other ones, make sure that you check them out. Day 1 through 13. And I want to thank you guys for joining. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and God bless.